Yo, what's up, y'all? I wanted to get y'all this video a little later just because I wanted to see if any other trades would transpire, whether it be from the Rockets or the Nets. And nothing really has happened, but I mean, let's get straight into it. So, obviously, you got the Brooklyn Nets trading for Mikal Bridges from the Nets, giving up 5 first-round picks for them, unprotected, and a second-round pick. And I mean, you got the Villanova Knicks now. They're complete basically. I mean, you need one more player from Villanova to get a whole starting five. But I mean, I think if you're the Knicks here, I think it's a pretty solid trade overall. I think you're going to try and go into win now mode, and I think that you're definitely accomplishing that by trading for Mikal Bridges. And on top of that, I believe everyone in their starting lineup is under 30 now because you got Mikal Bridges, Josh Hart, DiVincenzo, Julius Randle. So, yeah, I think all of those guys are under 30. So, giving up all those picks, it's most likely all those picks are going to be like late 20s. So, it's not a horrible trade for them. I think you definitely gave up a lot of assets, though. And I think that Mikal Bridges, his value is definitely skyrocketed. And I think that 5 first round picks is definitely a lot for Mikal Bridges, but I'm not an NBA GM, but that's just what I think personally. So anyway, what the Nets wanted, they actually wanted 6 first round picks. So or that's what I heard from different sources, and so the reason why the Knicks threw in that random second round pick was to try to kind of compensate for that. So they ended up getting what they wanted, I guess. I mean, you're getting 5 first round picks, which I think is great. I mean, you're starting your rebuild perfectly. And we'll get into that Rockets trade later with all the picks, and I'll talk about different stuff for the Rockets too, because that's my team. But we'll get into that later. So, winners for this trade, I think that honestly, I think that both teams won. I think that Mikal Bridges is definitely in a position now to where he can compete, and kind of like with the Suns, I wonder how his role is going to be. I think it's definitely going to be more elevated than his role with the Suns, where they went to the championship. I think that he's definitely going to be more of a scorer than a spot up shooter and defender. So definitely more than just a 3D player. And on top of this, so looking at complications for the Knicks, obviously I don't think you're going to be able to sign Hartenstein. I think you can re-sign OG Anunoby though. I think that's going to be perfect, honestly. And you could run it. You could run your five as Mitch Robinson. I mean, that works perfectly. He's a great defender. He's a very underrated player in my opinion. But I think that the Knicks overall, I think going into next year, I think you got, the Celtics. I think you got the Bucks if they can stay healthy, which, they didn't do this year, but possibly next year if they stay healthy, they can be another team to beat. And I think the Celtics, obviously, I think that those 3 teams in the East are really the teams to beat right now. Obviously, free agency doesn't start until Saturday, I believe, or maybe a little further than Saturday. I think that Saturday is when they decide for player options. So I think it's a little more down the road, but I mean, currently those are my 3 teams in the East. I think that if you're outside looking in, if you're like the Celtics, for example, you're not seeing them as a team on your level yet. Because I think the Celtics, I think Porzingis really is that X factor to where he's just the Knicks don't really have anyone to guard him. I don't think Julius Randle can match what Porzingis brings to the court, basically. But I think that the Knicks are definitely now a team to be respected, especially after what they did in the playoffs, even through all their injuries. And on top of that, Mikal Bridges, I mean, getting him, he hasn't missed a game since high school, and I think that that's another reason why they trade for him is for that availability reason, especially with Coach Tom Thibodeau. He loves to play his guys the full game. But yeah, I mean, going to the Nets here, I know I talked about it already, but you get a bunch of picks. You're stockpiling for your future. You're getting ready for rebuild. I did see that they're not done trading yet. I think Ben Simmons is possibly a name to look out for. If they get Nick Claxton, he could possibly be a sign and trade player. I think Dorian Finney-Smith, I believe I saw. So definitely some more trades that could possibly happen, which is definitely interesting. Looking at the losers of this trade, I honestly don't think anyone really lost. I think that it's pretty even for both sides. I think the Knicks' future definitely might be a little lost, but like I said before, all of their starting five is below 30. OG Anunoby is still super young, and their main supporting cast is super young, so those picks aren't going to be like very valuable. Okay, so past that trade, I want to look at the second trade that happened within the hour, which is kind of crazy. So the Rockets got the Phoenix Suns 2025 pick, 2027 pick, 2029 pick from the Durant trade, and the Nets got back their own 2025 pick and their 2026 pick. So for the Nets, this is perfect. You're basically trading for your picks back, and that can, your rebuild can start off a lot better. It's going to be a lot easier than what happened with the Paul Pierce, Kevin Garnett, Jason Terry trade, where those picks end up being Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, but they can't take advantage because they trade them away. But with them starting off with these picks, they can just tank immediately. You got the 2025 draft class is definitely full of blue chip talent. I think that Cooper Flag definitely one of the best prospects we've seen, but even giving up those 3 Phoenix picks, I think it's definitely worth it to get back those picks. And I think that if you're just trying to rebuild here, you really need your picks, because you can't. I mean, like I mentioned before, you can't really start a rebuild without your picks. For the Rockets here, you're getting 3 picks instead of 2. I did see actually that there have been multiple reports. I don't even know what's going on, to be honest with you, but I did see that the Rockets were trading for these picks just for assets, which I think is definitely super interesting. I know the Rockets were trying to get the Suns picks for a while. I know they value them a lot. And so giving up the Nets 25 and 26 pick is definitely very interesting to me, because I feel like those picks are definitely going to be top 5 picks for the next 2 years. I mean, they still hold the Nets 2027 pick, which will also be very valuable, but I also heard rumors that, possibly Kevin Durant would be coming to the Sun or the Rockets from the Suns, and so that's why they got the picks, is to try to give them their picks back like they did with the Nets, to allow the Suns to start the rebuild. But I mean, if you're the Rockets, I would not trade for 35-year-old Kevin Durant. He's way too old. If anything, what I would try to do is I would try to flip those 3 picks in Jalen Green and try to get Devin Booker. I think that would fit perfectly. You're getting basically a more elevated version of Jalen Green. You're getting someone who can play make more than Jalen Green, and you're giving up those 3 picks, which is, it would be kind of crazy to look at like the whole James Harden trade, because it would be like a lot of different pieces. I'm not too sure what it would be like, but if the Rockets got Devin Booker, that definitely be perfect in my opinion. I think the Suns, if they got Jalen Green, he'd also be nice there, as well as them trading Kevin Durant and Bradley Beal possibly. I don't think the hard part with Bradley Beal is that his value's tanked. I mean, he's probably not even. He would just be like trying to get off Bradley Beal's contract right now is probably near impossible just because of the money he's making. I think that Kevin Durant's gonna be hard to get off of because he's 35. You could probably trade him to a contending team, but it's gonna be really hard. I've also seen people like Paul George rumored, but he's also rumored to go to Golden State now. He's rumored to go back to the Clippers. Jimmy Butler is supposed to be staying with the Heat, which is definitely super interesting. He's actually been turning down calls from other teams, and it's actually, I think that shows a lot of his loyalty, which is very important for a player, and I respect that a lot. So also, going back on Kevin or the Rockets possibly trading for D-Book and KD, the Suns have come out and actually said that they want to run it back and they want to bring back that big 3. And me personally, I don't think you can run a big 3 in the NBA anymore. That's just like not the style of play anymore. You can't have 3 dudes that are superstar players and then you have the rest of the team being mediocre. Like, what happens if one of them gets hurt, like we saw with the Nets? You can't win with just 3 big players. You need I would say the way to win now, you need homegrown talent, and that's why I really like the Rockets. Just me as a Rockets fan, I don't like us trading the 3rd pick. I think we should draft Reed Shepherd, but yeah, that's off topic a little bit. But anyway, so for the Rockets, I don't think they're gonna end up making a move until later this summer or even in the fall, because we don't really know what's gonna happen with free agency. And I mean, looking at just like other free agent rumors, you've got the Bam Adebayo just got extended. I've heard Alperen Sengun was possibly going to get traded for Kevin Durant, which would be crazy. I don't understand why the Rockets would do that. Chris Paul and Andrew Wiggins have been being talked around. So I think that this offseason is definitely be crazy. I think it's going to be one to look out for. I think that there's going to be a lot of different moves and potentially a lot of different new faces on different teams. But I mean, yeah, we got the draft tonight, which I'll also be making a video on. That should be exciting. I think that there's definitely going to be a lot of trades. Hopefully, I love it whenever there are a lot of trades. It just everyone likes change. If you're looking from the outside in, if I was a player, I would hate to be traded just because I'm not. I don't like change a lot. But if if we're looking at the drafts, I think that it's very unpredictable right now. We don't even know who's going number one. There's no clear cut number one pick. I mean, if you're looking at what Memphis is trying to do with trying to get Donovan Clingan, it's just there's so much stuff going on right now, and that's what I love about this draft class is there's no one that's super good, and so everyone's just like talking and talking. There's so much rumors, and it's like there's a lot of FOMO. I don't know. I love it. I mean, personally, as an NBA fan, I think that this is one of the best off seasons I've been a part of. I just think that there's gonna be so many moves, and I think that it's definitely gonna be very exciting to see how everything turns out. But yeah, so that's the video today. Thank you guys for watching. I really do appreciate it. Make sure y'all check out my links. It has my articles, it has my TikTok, it has my Twitters, and I think that's it. Yeah. But thank you guys for watching. I will, like I said before, I will upload a video on the draft. And I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys in the next one.